Hello viewers, welcome back. We're here in the second part of level 8 and we're heading towards the vault of the Dismantler. Level 9 isn't too far away now, and to be honest the end of the game isn't too far away either. The later levels are a little bit shorter than the ones mid-distance. Maybe I think there's more puzzles and less enemies to kill. But let's deal with level 8 first. It's always best to secure your lines before you start messing around in your inventory. Again, I think pumping up axes until we get the rampage skill is the way to go. Then I'll start piling points into athletics. This chamber is filled with these fire elementals. I think I mentioned on the last video, if you were watching, that removing those torches from the walls can actually help you detect the noise of the enemies appearing, as the bad guys tend to make the same burning noise as the torches. There's definitely some more in here somewhere. We could do with a alien style motion tracker. Or at least a spell that does the same thing. Well, we found them now. And now they're playing hard to get. I get really paranoid in these scenarios that I'm going to get flanked. There'll be a few new enemies introduced on the next level. There's one big room full of these big lizard type creatures. But you'll have to wait for the next video to see that. As far as level 8 is concerned, I don't think there's anything new to see until we get to level 9. Aha, there he is. That door there is the eventual target once we find the key. At last, the final one. we now head round to that teleporter that we saw earlier. And there's a room full of mobs, so keep busy. Probably best to try and avoid casting Poison Cloud, as you might end up moving into it yourself, as you'll be running around a lot. When you first step into the room you might take a lot of damage, but don't worry about it too much, as once you've killed 2 enemies, the room thins out pretty quickly. Just make sure you heal before you head in, and you'll be fine. And a word of warning in advance here, that skull you found on the floor, if you don't have one in your inventory already, make sure you pick it up. A skull is essential to solve one of the puzzles on level 9. I actually ignore it here and I had to go back. So don't make the same mistake that I did. Again, pumping fire magic to get that greater fireball. That should always be your first target, really. Or getting the greater version of any spell that you have. It's quite a significant damage boost. And now we can head back to that door we found earlier. Yeah, there's 4 pressure plates in this room. The moment you weigh down the 4th one, the walls open up and a load of enemies appear. So it's best to run past the 4th one into safety, as we're about to see here. And let the enemies come to you on your own terms. Ideally in the nice straight corridor, one at a time. I believe it's 3 or 4 spiders and a fire elemental. And the items you place on the pressure pad, you can always come back and get them again later. I'm tempted to run through these poison clouds to save a few seconds, but that'd look a bit stupid on a guide video, so don't do it. Just one insy wincy spider left. Okay. Early on I had to choose between air magic and ice magic, so I pumped a lot more into ice, and again I can get improved frostbolt here, so both of my mages hit pretty hard now. Those 2 level ups in the last 5 minutes are probably the most significant level ups my mages have had. And that's the way out there, so we can just pull a lever now. But it's best to have a bit of a rest first. can always pull the lever again to close the door if you need to escape for a minute. I'm not sure why the fire elemental was standing still there inside of the poison cloud. It seems a bit stupid to me. And now that both of my mages hit significantly harder. Another earthquake. And as I was saying, now both my mages hit significantly harder. You'll notice the combat actually ends a lot quicker now. It just pushes the game along a little bit faster. Again, I'm getting the new thrust skill. Not long to go now until we get to the vault of the Dismantler. Just another secret or two to find first. That was a bit of a crappy leather cap that I've just found. It seems totally out of place this deep into the dungeon. Chest full of axes and arrows, I don't need that. Get rid. And this is the vault of the Dismantler now. The one puzzle to solve here is to actually kill this spider. It's stepping on the pressure plates in the background, and every time it moves it fires a lightning bolt off from those faces behind. Even though the spider moves randomly, it does seem to stick to the middle two areas. So if you can just jump in, fire off a couple of bolts, move out of the room again, rest up, come back in, shoot it again. Those two buttons open this passageway we've just come into. Now we've pressed those two secret buttons, we can come into the chamber. Discover the secret gold statue. And then pick up maybe the best sword in the game, or at least one of the best. Before that happens though, you have to put another item on the platform in the sword's place. Otherwise you get nuked to death. So perform the quick switcheroo and then pick the sword up. Attack power 27 compared to 24. And the Dismantler seems to apply randomly, like a lightning effect when you hit the target. And now we can pretty much exit via the way we could have exited at the start of the level 8 video. Had we wanted to miss out all of this stuff, we could have exited pretty quickly. But it's always good to go deep into level 8 for the XP and for that weapon. Another Another crappy arrow. Another piece of the Valor set. Well guys, there's not long to go now. Just a few more levels until we're at the very end. I hope you find these videos interesting or enjoyable. Take care guys, and I'll catch you later.